Get that nasty secret off your chest. See the unfiltered opinions of strangers. I am 1.5 feet taller than my wife. So when I take a shower I make sure to set the shower head as high as possible. Then when she gets in she can't reach it to lower it and she has to call me in. So I get to see her naked. She has yet to realize that setting is too high for even me. Not that I can't see her naked pretty much any time, but still. It's the little things. I put my infant daughter in the closet, shut the door and walked away. I'm so overwhelmed. I haven't really slept in 8 weeks. That's how old my daughter is. She's a beautiful little girl, but she screams and screams and screams. I do everything to console her. I make sure she is fed, dry, not in pain and comfortable. But she almost never stops screaming. My husband left this weekend for a business trip and I was alone with her for the first time. It was going okay this morning, but then the floodgates opened. I held her, rocked her, bounced her, but nothing worked. I wanted to shake her. I'm ashamed to type this, but I wanted to shake my baby. I thought I was about to have a nervous breakdown. I was so fed up that I strapped her into her car seat, placed her in our coat closet and shut the door. She was still screaming and I shut the door on her. I set a 1-hour alarm, went upstairs and collapsed into my bed. I wouldn't say I slept, more like I instantly went unconscious. An hour later my alarm went off and I sprung up and ran downstairs to her. She was sleeping and no longer crying. I picked her up and held her and just started sobbing. It's too much. I'm a terrible mother. I can't handle this. Why I am Aunt Susan the Karma Farming Facebook fiend. My Reddit username is coolgirl_train. I am not really cool, but I commute daily on a train. So it's partially correct. I am an English woman, living in England. About 2 years ago the fate that is called life landed an American guy in my local pub. My first impression was that he was different and a little odd. I was drawn to this oddness. It was cool and exciting and it brings out my personality and inner quirks. About a year ago we have become the best of friends. It's platonic and it's amazing. It's a friendship like no other. Well, of course, being a typically reserved English woman, I had never heard of Reddit. The guy, who shall be known as Mr. X, obviously is a hardcore Redditor and has an established account. He told me about Reddit, suggesting I set up an account and bet that I could never achieve the same amount of karma as him. I think it was more the smug grin on his face as he was looking down at me that had the greatest impact and made me more so determined. What I don't think he realized is that I am incredibly competitive with the determination and heart of a lion. The prize, if I did, would be a trip to Canada. I have never been west, so for me this would be incredible. This was 3 weeks ago. Over the last 3 weeks I have frantically posted all sorts of stuff in an eager attempt to work out what works. I have been called every name under the sun: karma whore, karma farmer, Aunt Susan, and to colloquially go back to Facebook. I have even been requested to stay on my side of the pond. This is my confession. This is why I have been behaving like Aunt Susan the Karma Farming Facebook fiend. I apologize, and if you're interested I will of course keep you posted. Confessions of the not so cool girl on the train. I made over 16 calls today trying to find mental health services in my area. More specifically a psychologist that could help. In the end I just gave up. No wonder America has a mental health crisis. Nobody answers the damn phone when people try to seek help. Today, my next door pregnant neighbor knocked on my door. Around 7 p.m. today, I heard some knocking on my door. I opened it and it was my next door pregnant neighbor. She was, I think, in her 7th or 8th month. She was holding a small plate in her hand. In a very shy voice, she asked me if I can give her some of whatever I was cooking because she liked the smell. I think pregnant women sometimes have strong cravings and they cannot resist it. Anyway, she was shy and apologized a lot for her request since we don't know each other. I laughed and told her it is okay, smile. I was cooking a traditional meal from my country and the recipe has olive oil, garlic, jalapenos and some spices. I think the smell was nice. I gave her some of my dinner, then she left. I watched her walking home like a cute little penguin who's happy with her successful little hunting smiley face. I felt really happy too for some reason. I used to pay my middle school bully not to bully me, then I found out he actually needed the money. He made my life a living hell. He would turn all the boys in class against me and bully me about my eyebrows. One time he begged me to buy him pizza and said he promises not to bully me all week if I do. So I bought him a box of pizza and he fulfilled his promise. I loved the idea. I began to do it on a regular basis. I started asking him every Friday what he wants next week so that the bullying doesn't happen again. He asked for 2 bags of hot fries, a potato chip flavor here in the US, and another time he wanted some milk from the cafeteria, and once he asked for colored pencils for art class. My school had a uniform dress code. It was $25 per shirt and the pants were $15, if I remember correctly. He showed up the first day of 8th grade in regular clothes, a tee and jeans. So he got sent to the main office to wait for his parents. My aunt was there because she used to drop off my lunch and hand me money to buy food after school. She saw him upset and asked what's wrong, and he starts crying lightly. His parents wouldn't come because they couldn't afford the uniform and decided it would be best to avoid the situation. After my aunt hands me my lunch, she buys him a uniform hoodie, a couple of tees, and a long sleeve. He said he had pants at home and he was hesitant to accept, but eventually took them and thanked her. Now, 13 years later, he runs a non-profit that has something to do with kids receiving books. I think it's sweet and I forgive him for being a bully because he didn't grow up to be an a-hole like most bullies. My GF said I am not affectionate enough, so now I treat her like my dog. I rarely show emotion. I'm very reserved and level-headed, so my emotions, whether positive or negative, rarely spike too much. But, I love my dog. More than anything or anyone. She gets more life and emotion of me than anyone. My GF recently sat me down and told me she needs more affection. She knows I don't wear my emotions, and that generally includes her, even though she knows I love her. I'm not handsy, I kiss her when appropriate, and let her know I love her when appropriate. Since that talk, I've been thinking of my affection for her like I do my dog. I get super excited to see her like my dog does when I get home. My dog constantly wants scratches, so I always rub her shoulders or play with her hair or have my hand on her thigh. I love when my dog gets kissy and playful, so I get kissy and playful with my GF in the same way. My dog loves when I give her a new toy or treat, so I have little gifts and snacks to give to her when the mood strikes. What a difference. My GF loves it. And it's easy for me because I literally just treat her like my dog, but without the baby voice. It's renewed our passion and she is so happy and can't understand how I turned my emotions around so easily. TL, Dr. GF wanted more affection. I just do the things to her that I do to my dog, because I love my dog more. I quit Facebook so I would stop wasting time staring at my phone. I now spend more time on Reddit than I ever have on Facebook. I bought 40,000 Reddit coins, cause I like giving plat and gold to strangers on the internet. They're always very thankful and it makes me happy because I'm a social as fuck girl and I could never brighten someone's day like I can on here. I ghosted my long-term BF, got into an argument which led him to say I could care less about you. If you died tomorrow, I wouldn't go to your funeral. I didn't say anything back, just never spoke to him again. He's tried to contact me several times since, but I want those to be the last words he's ever said to me. Bitch ass bitch. I fall asleep watching my boyfriend's YouTube channel so he gets more views on his videos because it makes me happy how excited he gets about more views. I found out my high school bully is dead and I'm ecstatic. Couple days ago I found out that the guy who bullied me all throughout high school died, and honestly I couldn't be happier. My friends all tell me I'm terrible for being happy, but they have no idea what I went through because of him. He almost drove me to suicide, and knowing he's dead just makes me feel better. I feel bad for his parents and I'd never wish that upon anyone to outlive their children, but I just can't help myself. Edit, since it's coming up a lot I just want to clarify. I never wished death upon him. I know he was a terrible person and did terrible things, but I never wished the guy was dead. Edit 2, for those asking or wondering how he died, I don't know. I assume it was drugs or alcohol because the obituaries never stated anything, nor was it explained on social media. I also made the assumption off of what his personality was like. Edit 3, after thinking about it all day, and reading through the comments, I came to realize that ecstatic wasn't the correct word. It's more relieved and indifferent. I don't know what his home life was like or what made him into the bully that he was. All I know is that all he did was bully me and make my life miserable. Could he have been different? Maybe. Could he have changed his ways since then? Maybe. It doesn't change what he did. Life happens, people live and people die. There's nothing we can do about it. Hindsight is 20/20. If I could go back and tell myself to stand up and not take it, I would, but I can't. There are a lot of things I would have done differently regarding it, but it's done, it's in the past. Nothing can change it.
Thanks for watching, subscribe for more.